Micheline and R.H, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. VHS has become one of those types of feature films that I always look forward to because I feel like it's a space where creatives could, get certain ideas going, get to do things maybe that they haven't been allowed to do, or get something just started. How excited are you guys to have audiences watch Home Haunt?
I mean, I think as people that grew up being Halloween kids and like Halloween was like our favorite holiday, like there couldn't be a better theme for us to do a VHS segment. And I think,
Yeah, that was the most exciting thing. You're right, though. You kind of hit the nail on the head about what VHS is and how it allows filmmakers to kind of like branch out a little bit and take a chance on something. And for us, a lot of our work tends to be heavy subject matter and bleak. And we're like, we want to make something really like fun and bombastic and kind of like, we pitch it. We're like, we want to do like an R-rated Goosebumps episode, and it's not something we kind of get to do in our other work as much. So that was really great. That was an exciting thing to do.
yeah, I think the thing we're excited about is hopefully other like Halloween kids out there will really like Home Hunt and it'll resonate with them like how it was for us to make it.
Yeah, not just trying to pony up to you guys, but Home Hunt was my favorite on there for that reason.
Oh, thank
Um,
Oh,
you.
thank you so
I
much.
always it's always that when you watch sometimes movies and horror and things like that, there's always the what if question that I think you guys answered really, really in a fun way as far as like what if a home haunt goes wrong. Also,
Manny, you know what? That thing you said about it being your favorite, it seems to be a common theme that we continue to hear. So feel free to keep screaming that at the rafters.
That's a
you know,
good publicist.
yeah. So just tell me a little bit about some of the inspiration behind it. I know you guys said you guys were Halloween kids. Tell me some of the things that maybe in thinking about it, you guys wanted to make sure you guys put in the short amount of time.
I think the big thing for me was like we both were very nostalgic, so it was cool to do something that was a period piece. So for on my part, I was really committed to giving as much authenticity to like the costumes, the wardrobe, the set pieces. So a lot of that stuff came from my own personal collection. I'd say about 80% of the props, wardrobe, everything you see is my own personal stuff.
Yeah, and for the inspiration, it was interesting. You asked like, what if? That's actually how this got started because you probably noticed Rick Baker's in it, and he plays like a pretty big role. And every year in Burbank, he puts on this kind of home haunt thing. It's not like a full maze, but he builds sets and he puts his whole family in these kind of makeup things. And we're lucky to be fortunate, very fortunate to be friends with the Baker family. And we've heard the daughters at various times, kind of, I don't want to do all the makeup this year and all this
Oh, I
stuff.
don't
And
want to be scary
I don't
or
want to be scary. And
gross.
so then we kind of like thinking it, it's just Rick's thing. It's like people trick-or-treaters line up for miles for this. And we're like, well, what if Rick actually killed half of Burbank with his home haunt thing? And so we were over at his house and I was telling him what we were
And
working
like, and
on.
like, what if he had a neighbor that was a curmudgeon that like hated what he was doing and like
Yeah.
didn't like the attention it brought to the neighborhood and the noise and everything else?
But he kind of like, I was kind of like telling him what we were working on. He just kind of like looks at me and gives you that like Rick Baker look. And his wife is just like, well, you have to put him in it. And I was like, oh, great, great. So then,
So really, Rick Baker's wife is the reason why Rick said yes to
yeah.
this. Sylvia is the
But
whole
it's
reason.
about that. It's like, what if Rick actually killed everybody with his home haunt? So that's kind of, funny.
You answered my question because it was like how the heck did they get Baker to
He's
do
been a
this?
friend of mine for like 14 years. I got to work on his last project before he retired. So it really meant a lot to me to have him be a part of like our first feature project. Like,
Mhm.
because we've done shorts and things before, and we have other projects that are in the works, but this was our first thing that was going to come out. So the fact that he's a part of this is kind of like a kismic moment of like, I got to do his last thing, he got to do my first thing, and it meant a lot.
He wasn't happy about that polo shirt though.
He hated his wardrobe. He's like, I would never wear anything like this. And I'm like, well, that's the point. You're not you, you're this other guy. And he actually had a lot of fun playing like the biggest, grumpiest neighbor
He hates
ever.
Halloween,
It's the opposite of Rick, who loves it.
Mhm.
That's awesome. So do want to go back to some of your costumes, some of your choices in scares. Was it given all the kind of the tech and everything that's available, was it maybe a little bit more challenging to hold back and to make sure that you had the ghost with the sheet, or you had the kind of the grungier looking animatronics or things like that instead of trying to make it look a little bit cleaner? Is that tougher to do?
Yeah, that's actually, yes, that is actually tougher to do. And for us, it was kind of like, it was about the Americana Halloween. So it's like all the monsters were picked very specifically. You always, if you used to go in these old home haunts in the 80s and 90s, especially, there would always be an executioner, room with a torture chamber. There would always be the white ghosts. There would always be our favorite ones, the green Halloween witch, obviously. There would always be these things. So we were like, let's
And
try to
ghouls
find,
instead of zombies, which I
yeah.
think is really cool because you don't see those very
Yeah, it wouldn't be
often.
like zombies, it'd be ghouls.
So I think the biggest challenge, like with anybody that does VHS, is that you have a very small budget. Every director has the same amount of money, the same shooting days. We're all treated exactly the same. And I think the only way we really achieved how ambitious our project was how involved we were with all the departments and how we physically helped and assisted and collaborated with them to pull off the impossible. And we could not have done all those monster makeups had we not kit bashed them. And if we didn't have Carly Herbert, our makeup department head, like kind of spearhead the project with us, like there's no way we could have pulled off what we did.
So it's kind of kit bashing when you just take random prosthetic pieces from different monsters put together. And that's actually interesting because you talked about, the rougher hewn kind of thing. It's like, yeah, we actually had to kind of make the real monsters the same way people would make a fake monster. Just, catch as catch can, just grab whatever pieces you can. And luckily, Carly Herbert's a really incredible makeup artist, and she was able to elevate all that stuff.
We got to work with a company called RBF Effects for all the pieces, and he makes amazing stuff that's like pre-made. So none of the designs are necessarily fully custom. We just didn't have the budget for that, but we were able to make unique like monsters because of his pieces.
And it's just interesting because Hunter, he does a lot of our Halloween things, and he was at Halloween Horror Nights talking with Chris Jericho, and one of the things that he mentioned in an interview was you never see actual killers go after people in Halloween mazes or things like that. Or so like if you're walking down through and something's happening, like how do you really know if it's real or not?
Right.
Someone's there or not, yeah.
We just thought it'd be fun if it was monsters though. So it's like I love the fantasticalness of Home Haunt and like how kind of insane it is, because that's what makes these things special when they can be like otherworldly, and that's what we really wanted to lean in on.
And we had to play it pretty tongue in cheek because we kill a lot of kids.
We kill a lot of
kids. Kind of
How did that conversation go? Was it just kind of like, well, these are the people who would come through, and these are the people who would be walking through our neighborhood?
Yeah, it's like we try to just make it realistic. Like there's gonna be teenagers, there's gonna be kids, there's gonna be adults, like there's gonna be people in costumes, not in costumes. Like
we had to make sure it had, because like obviously it can be very upsetting. So we wanted to make sure it was still fun. Anytime a kid suffers on screen, it needs to be done in the right way. And so for us, it was kind of like, okay, well, let's lean into kind of the Sam Raimi, Peter Jackson kind of vibe, so that it's not a full comedy, but it's more tongue in cheek, and it's more acceptable to show that kind of violence that way.
And I feel like the It movies and the miniseries got away with like killing kids in a way that like was less upsetting because of, I'm sure having a giant clown do it makes it more funny. So with us, we try to just land a tone that works to do something like that and have those choices. But there's no way we could have gotten around to not killing.
It would have been weird if it was just a bunch of adults.
Yeah,
this thing.
It doesn't really work the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's just part of kind of the immersion of the experience. But I mean, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, they are the reason why chlorophobia really exists. Some of the main reasons, especially in that time period.
Yeah.
Tell me, what was your reaction to seeing The Witch for the first time?
Oh man, I was so excited. It was cool because I got to like hand draw and like design like her costume, and like I actually did her whole costume, shoes, everything. And when I was putting everything together for Carly, I was like, she has to be green. She has to be this specific tonality of green with a yellow undertone, with this warmth. And we really worked in sync together to kind of like make her what she is. And I'm like, I don't want her to have human teeth. I want her to have really long nails, like back, chest. Like I want all these elements of visible that she really feels like creepy and like ancient, but also very much like a classic Halloween witch. And when we saw her, come on set, and Lisi, who's the creature actress that plays her, did a fantastic job. I just wanted more witch. Like, I just want to make a whole movie with just
she scared the kids.
Witches.
She scared the kids.
Yeah.
We were like, poor mummy boy at the end.
He was really freaked out by her.
He was really freaked out by her. He was there, but it was great. It was great. Because that's also a balance too. It's like, how do you do a green witch without it being too campy? Because there's a balance there. This had to be campy in general, but there's too campy where it becomes lame. And it was like, we wanted her to be scary. And I really feel like she's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if it's too campy, you feel like she's gonna break out in song. So
Yeah,
I,
exactly. Exactly.
I think you guys had a good balance with that. And speaking of balance, you know the horror elements of it don't necessarily hit unless you have a good foundation and care about our characters. Tell me a little bit about the family and kind of setting that foundation of there's a kid here who's now getting older,
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily want to do this anymore, but
Mhm.
but it's a thing, it's the family thing, and so he's gonna go along with it.
Well, that was weird because we were like, well, let's make the first wholesome VHS segment ever. Because normally, like, they're just a bunch of like the worst people you've ever met show up at a place and something dispatches them. And that's fun. And there always should be at least one or two segments like that in there. But like, let's try to do our kind of like an Amblin throwback thing. And so the way that we kind of like envision it was almost like a Clark Griswold type of dad with a son. And it's just like if we can get them and kind of like use this maze as kind of like representing this kind of relationship gap with them. The bigger the maze gets over the year, the further apart they are, and it just becomes this kind of like albatross, family albatross around their necks. And we really wanted to start it from that way and kind of show them all surviving together and kind of like rebuilding as it gets through. So that was definitely different for VHS to try to even open up with like a home movie that's like
Hmm.
hopefully charming and like kind of makes you fall in love with these people a little bit and this kind of tradition they have. But that was very important to us, was to establish that you care about these characters and that this home haunt's important to them in various different ways, good and bad.
And you only have like 20 minutes or less to
Yeah.
do that. So I think our segment is under 17 minutes. So we had to establish who these people were, their family dynamic, tell this space and time to show like how it's grown and changed over the years, like 10 plus years of his dad working on this with his son and himself, and his wife who makes the costumes and helps as well. So we really wanted that to be a part of the story because the way that it goes through the maze and how quickly everything goes, it's like a gauntlet, and then the thing and the next thing and the next thing. So it really kind of like is like a roller coaster that goes up the hill and then the drop happens. So we hope that everybody enjoys the ride and likes the family. And I also think our family is the first like main characters that have ever survived a VHS segment.
Yeah, I think they're the first ones
I
that have
think
like
we're
gotten
the
out.
first survivors ever. We also have the biggest cast in VHS history.
Mm.
And I think we probably have the most like character development out of like all the other segments because we got to spend so much time, doing
Yeah,
that.
the producers are really, really cool about that. But
Yes.
I also want to just give props to our lead actors, Jeff Harms, Noah Diamond, and Sarah Nicklin, who are great.
Oh man, we had the best actors.
We
Really.
got really fortunate with them. They all
And,
really
and also little Oliver who played like
Yeah.
young Zach was really great.
Hallie, the ballerina girl, was awesome.
Yeah, and Hallie was awesome.
But we're lucky.
Yeah, we got great people we got to work with.
Yeah, just overall, I mean, I gotta compliment your guys' pacing because it does start right at the bottom, gets to that hill, and man, when it drops, when that finale was crazy. I'm not gonna say any more about it because I want people to just enjoy it the way I did, because
Yeah.
I kid you not, it ended, and then because it's the last one and on the feature, I was a whoa, what just happened? I rewinded it, or whatever you want to call it these days, or moved it back. I rewinded it
Yeah,
just to watch
rewind
it
it.
again because just the reveal from the moment, the first moment she's out and just chaos. I felt like I missed so much.
Yeah.
I think I watched it 3 or 4 times. As a matter of
Oh,
fact,
awesome. Thank you.
just a
That's
few
awesome.
minutes before I got in here. I
That
know
was all shot practically too. Like her coming out, we shot on a blue screen, and then like all the other stuff was practical. The thing at the end was all practically done with stop motion,
that's insane.
which I think is also a first for VHS. I think we're the first people to ever use stop motion. And Calder,
Our production designer
did that.
We couldn't have done any
He's
of this stuff
awesome.
without him. He really broke his back. Because here's the thing, this was an impossible thing to make, and that's the only kind of movies we want to work on. We always set ourselves up with
Overly
impossible goals.
ambitious.
Like all those sets, we had 5 days to shoot, I think, and we had to build some of those sets. We had to build and strike the same day, so we had zero chance for going back and getting pickup shots or reshooting anything. There was nothing there.
We were building sets while we were shooting on another set, and then tearing that one down to build the next set.
Yeah,
so it was crazy.
Yeah, there was definitely some concern at first. This might be too ambitious, but ultimately, thanks to our crew, we were able to execute it.
And the thing that you watched a couple of times, if you looked at the end credits, did you happen to see who is playing the witch in that moment?
No, I did not.
It's a credited Witcheline.
Yeah,
That's
Micheline was
me.
on the
Oh,
thing.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, no. All right. I'm gonna have to go watch it again. I kid you not.
Because we
Um,
had like 15 marks to hit to pull that shot off. And I
It
was
was
like,
crazy. That was
I'll do it because I want, if someone's going to be stressed out and fail, I'd rather that pressure be on me than an actress or someone else. So I chose to do it.
well, I mean, overall, kudos to you guys because you guys got it done. I think it's a fantastic way to end the feature. And so, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
One of my last few questions I have, what is it from this project that you're going to take away and kind of continue using on your future projects? I know you guys have a feature you're working on, and obviously you're going to have more features along the way. What is something you learned here that you're going to take with you?
Never stop being ambitious.
Yeah, never stop being ambitious.
Always have big ideas. Try to achieve the impossible. Have a great department heads and crew and really appreciate and understand what they do and collaborate with them in every moment, which is something we've always done. But I think that's how you really achieve things to be their highest quality when you have a really great relationship with all your department heads and work well with them.
Yeah, and also, and this is specific to found footage, and you don't really hear this talk about it enough. It's very difficult to make a horror movie without music, without a score specifically. Like we had like diegetic music, meaning it's playing in the background of the actual scene, whether they have like speakers in front of the maze, it's playing spooky music, or the record that's a part of the plot. But like no music, that was really challenging. So it actually made us like pay much more attention to the effect of music that it does have on a film. So on a technical matter, that's one thing that we definitely have come to appreciate throughout this.
Yeah, amazing. Just I was very happy when Aaron reached out to Junior and to talk specifically about this part of it. So thank you very much. We are my wife and I are first time homeowners this year. So this is my first home that I get to do outdoor decorations for
Oh,
Halloween.
hey, great.
Yeah.
Any quick tips for a first timer?
A
Um,
lot of pumpkins. You
A
need
lot of pumpkins. Hay bells are absolutely mandatory. If you're gonna do animatronics, go with one only, and it should be something that matches the theme of your decorations and stay on theme because a lot of people are just like, oh, this new thing came out, this new thing came out. I love super traditional Halloween stuff, so we have an animatronic witch, green witch, of course, that's in front of our house, and then everything else is very traditional, like pumpkins and that light up.
If you see a stack of 4 jack-o'-lanterns on top of each other that look good at Home Depot, you're going to spend 9 hours putting that together.
It looks sick when it's
Yeah,
together.
that's
It
enough.
looks sick, but it takes forever.
Yeah.
It takes us 3 nights or 3 days to do our decorations fully.
Wow.
That's how I always end up getting more and more, and we're almost out of space. But you're gonna have the best time. Home Depot, in my opinion, has some of the best pumpkins and animatronic pumpkins that are really fun. But like always shop when stuff goes on sale for the future next year. I do that every year. Get that stuff on sale.
Yeah, I finally have the room for it and everything. And so I think we're going with a graveyard theme. So I'm pretty excited. And also I spent 3 weeks, I'm not kid you not, going through our HOA to make sure that I wasn't gonna get in trouble.
Oh man, yeah. Whatever, you're gonna be the most popular house.
Yeah.
So I'm
And
excited.
congratulations on your new home too.
Yeah.
Thank you. But it's the Halloween decorations that I'm
You'll
most
have to send
excited
us a
for.
picture when
I
you
I
done.
will.
See
I plan to try to make it very tasteful. And I know that my daughter and I have talked in the future. We do want to do a home hunt.
Oh yeah.
I
That's
kid you
good.
not. It's a goal. It's a goal for the future. So hopefully with not this kind of result, but I also
I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
buy any questionable records or
Don't
anything.
buy any questionable records at
no,
any
absolutely not. No,
Yeah.
just the good ones. Thank you both so much for spending a few minutes with me. Congratulations on your Fantastic Fest debut. I know Junior's out there in Austin, and he will be there at the screening if I'm not mistaken. And I am so excited to see what you guys are going to be working on next. Also, Micheline, just really quickly, your Bride of Frankenstein line is amazing.
Oh, thank
Some of the
you
other
so
items
much.
on there are so good. So yeah, you guys are awesome, and I really appreciate your time. Talking with people like you is why I do what I do. So it means a lot to me.
Well, we really appreciate it.
Awesome.
It's
We
been our
really
pleasure.
love talking to you today. Have a great rest of the week, and I'm sure we'll get to talk to each other again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care, guys. Thanks.
All right, take care.
Bye.